there's more developments that we would like to kind of speak about. Joining us right now is the President, National Institute of Maritime Affairs, ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Retired Mr. Javed Iqbal. Javed Saab, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your time. Very quickly, let's get the conversation started. The only thing that I would want to ask you is that right post mediation talks, the statement which has come out is that President Donald Trump says that we will be putting in naval blockades at the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what does that dictate? What does that signify? Please take it away.
Walaikum salam, Shadad. Good morning to the viewers, and thank you for having me. I think the announcement of blockade, which as per technical and legal connotation is an act of war, amidst ceasefire, is a very, very serious development, I must say, because, because they may have used other terminology also. They could have used quarantine also that they did in Cuban Missile Crisis of the 1960s to defuse the situation, because whether war or no war, it doesn't matter, because Iran had already been bombed, incessantly. But now, during midst of ceasefire, its diplomatic connotation is very, very serious. And I think it is too late and too little. It could have been done in the initial, in the run up to the war. That would have been more effective at that time. But now it provides them a soft landing as compared to, because there have been no gains apparently in the ceasefire from their perspective. Only thing is the cessation of hostilities. That is the good thing out of this ceasefire. And the announcement of blockade also gives them a semblance of control, as if they are in charge and as if they will apply long economic pressure on Iran. Like in the old times, there used to be siege of Constantinople and to put in long-term economic pressure. But the reaction to Iran is always available. If the Iranian oil exports are choked in this blockade, so Iran can also react as it has been reacting on the oil infrastructure of the GCC countries. So I think this is a very serious development, and which we will see that how it is implemented. The deadline is close to Pakistani time. It will be today's evening, close to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
It definitely is. And what we really need to take note of is how the global energy supply is at a very vulnerable stage. So in case, if a direct confrontation does take place between the US and Iran, who would have a tactical advantage? We want to know from your perspective, with your vast experience in the Navy, would it be the US Navy or would it be Iran's asymmetrical capabilities?
I think no one stands to gain, and the entire world stands to lose if the conflict, reflashes again. Even the announcement of blockade has sent the oil prices, above $100 now. The WTI and the Brent, and the oil that we buy from the UAE and Saudi Arabia, that is the Marban, it is already in the 130s and 140s range. So the world would stand to lose if the conflict, again starts. And we have to see that, if they are blockading the Iranian exports of oil, so 90% of that oil is destined towards China. So it means that the Chinese energy security is directly being risked. And what would be the Chinese response? But as of now, the export was taking place through dark ships. That is, the ships flying flags of third parties like Marshall Island and Panama and all that. But what if the Chinese state VLCCs and big oil tankers, they come in to pick up the Iranian oil? So, it kinds of very, very precarious situation, and it risks not only confrontation with Iran, Iranian response, and also but a maritime disruption at sea, which would again send the global economy in a spin downwards.
Exactly, and sir, where obviously all of these points that we discussed with you were more technical, just very quickly, how do you see Pakistan's role in the mediation talks and how Pakistan served as a neutral ground for both the parties to come down, sit down and speak about a possible end to the war?
Yeah, that's undisputable. Pakistan's role has been very, very defined and distinct and above board, because we brought trust to the table. Our capability to infuse trust between two parties, to provide a safe venue, and to facilitate the conversation was the hallmark. And it was a great achievement that after the ceasefire, we have seen that the announcement by the both sides budged on the nuclear equation, as Mr. Trump's statements have indicated. But bringing them to table and hammering out all other issues, apart from the nuclear question and of course the Strait of Hormuz that is being panned out now, was a very great achievement on behalf of Pakistan's diplomatic prong.
Exactly, sir. Thank you so much, Javed Iqbal, sir, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with people who are out there. Ladies and gentlemen, inshallah, tomorrow we will be right